Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to the mid-season finale of With Extra Happy. With me today, as always, is my loyal co-host, Kat.
Hello, I would just like to apologise for all the technical difficulties I've been having. As you can probably hear, I have a new computer, and that's just what we're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, she was the reason why this season 3 is being broken up into two parts is because one lovely evening, Cassie basically, I'm paraphrasing, but the general feeling was, oh shit, my computer crashed. And so we were going to have this episode plus two others, but yeah, Skynet attacked us. Or maybe the Yeerk Empire attacked, they were like, God damn it, we have to stop this podcast.
This person is becoming too good. Let's shut her down.
Shut her down. Yeah, so I don't know when the season will continue, but it will in the upcoming months. It's just I do this podcast when J&J Mondays is on hiatus. And when, seasons go on, when the Yeerk Empire does not attack this. So yeah, we've been attacked by the Yeerk Empire.
Yes, and I am hoping to have a better solution to the microphone, but for now we will just have to make do with what we have.
I can't really complain about your microphone because the microphone I use is the one in my laptop.
Yeah, but it's not right next to the fan, is it?
I don't know. I just speak and it picks it up, so.
Well, we'll just have to
question.
We'll just make do.
Yeah, and as a special little guest, Silene, who's actually found out to be terminally ill, so we don't know how long she's going to last, but she's a kicking. And near the end of the podcast, we'll be taking her out just because she won't sit still. She'll always be climbing around, and I don't want to deal with the majority of the podcast being that. Hey, Josh, what do you think about... God damn it, Silene, stop almost falling down. She's a cutie with a millet addiction problem.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, she was like one morning, actually afternoon, in one of her nostrils, she had a little bit of a millet in her nostril, and it's like she was trying to snort millet. I mean, first we have Axe with his cinnamon bun problem, and now we have Silene with her millet problem.
Maybe she's an Andalite.
Are you an Andalite?
Andalite bird nutlet!
She's a nutlet! Speak to me! Speak to me!
I don't know anything.
No. God damn it. No, I don't hear any thoughts speak either. Possibly she is.
That's for another day.
What?
That's for another day.
That whole conspiracy theory is for another day. But anyways, today we're not talking about Silene conspiracy theories. We're talking about Seerow's kindness, one of basically the most important and law. So, yeah, so the two books that were read in preparation for this episode were the Hork-Bajir Chronicles and number 8, The Alien. I read number 8, and not Silene, Kat read the Hork-Bajir Chronicles, part of it that was related to the episode.
Yeah, just the first few chapters up until they landed on the Hork-Bajir homeworld.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's get us started. Maybe. Okay, the first question is, could it have been prevented? Could Seerow's kindness was named after Prince Seerow, who basically told the Yeerks, hey, there's a bigger universe out there, and you're just on a planet that's a small part of it. And then the Yeerks, when they fled the planet, they started the Yeerk Andalite War because they weren't exactly very nice and calm when leaving. It wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to totally be gone to get a burger and return in 5 minutes, okay? Okay. It was a little more violent.
Wipe out like a bunch of warriors and steal ships and jump into Z space.
Yeah. It's as I said, a little more violent.
Just a little bit.
But anyways, do you think that could have been prevented, and for the Yeerks and Andalites to sort of work together, or at least go, okay, you can go? No, just anything that didn't start a Yeerk Andalite war.
Well, from what I understood, because I haven't read the series in ages, never mind the Chronicle books. The Yeerks only had the Geds on their planet to infest. So I know that the Andalite warriors were ordered not to attack the Geds because they were a simple species by themselves. But I think that maybe if a closer eye had been kept on them, then the Andalites probably could have been able to learn about their about what an infested creature was capable of doing.
It's one of the problems that would stop an Andalites from learning or thinking about that the Yeerks or Geds, the Ged controllers would be a problem, might not necessarily be that they wouldn't know what they could do, but Andalites think every other species is below them. So to them, they'd be like, yeah, they could do some shit, but we're Andalites, we're tough, we're the masters of the fucking universe.
Pretty much.
I hate Andalites. Except for Axe, Alfangor, Seerow, Aldrea, and a few others, but the majority are assholes.
Yeah. That must be one hell of an upbringing.
What?
That must be one hell of an upbringing.
Yeah. It's just basically we're the most important species ever. And so when looking at something like Yeerks, they would just be like, oh god, Geds, ooh, so dangerous. I mean, maybe they didn't even really, maybe as you said, they didn't really look at what the Yeerks could make the Geds do. Because they would probably just be looking at the Geds as, oh, these look stupid. We don't have to worry about this. And they might be confusing how the Geds looked and moved to what the Yeerks could do, and they might see the Geds as, oh, that's as dangerous a Yeerk can be. And when a Yeerk's outside of the host body, it doesn't really look that impressive. So they would just be like, oh no, the Yeerks, no. I would actually like to be part of the conversation, in the little lunchroom of the office. Hey, Bob, remember when you said, ooh, what could the Yeerks do? Ooh, look at how many planets they went after. Shut up, Steve.
That sounds like a barrel of laughs, and I want to be a part of it.
This is how much we've been affected by Animorphs, folks. We have to make it funny. Or else
it's normal. It's perfectly normal for us.
Yeah, perfectly normal. Or else we'd be curled up into a little ball in the corner of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah. You were the one to actually read the scene where the Yeerks, got free of their homeworld. What did you think of it?
Well, I'm surprised that they were able to control Andalite ships with the Geds, but then I figured that they probably had a group of Geds per control panel, probably, and well, evidently they knew what they were doing, because they then went back and were on the ground for an hour in order to pick up, I think it was 250,000 Yeerks to take elsewhere. And then they went shooting off into Z space. So yeah, they knew what they were doing, but
I think would Seerow have taught them anything, or could they have been sneaking around with no one being suspicious of them and pick things up?
I think if Seerow had probably realised how dangerous they could have been with the knowledge, because even he says that the Yeerks are highly intelligent. I think if he'd have realised that giving something that has high intelligence that kind of power, he probably would have either I think I want to say either maybe tried to wipe their memories, or just destroyed anyone before they could have tried anything. Or maybe he just didn't understand how the infestation worked. I don't know.
I think I was thinking that he was the one wanting peace between them, so the exchange of information tends to be, I guess, a diplomatic thing. Hey, I'll tell you this if you tell me that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think, mind you, it's been forever since I read it, but I think Alrand said something about if you didn't teach them that there's something more to the universe, then they wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's purely talking about the universe, or giving them the information how to go about it.
And he helped create portable Candronas for them, so that didn't help at all.
Okay, yeah, the one weakness, and no. I think that it probably could have been prevented if the Andalites were more diplomatic, because to start off with, there's really only Prince Seerow being diplomatic and thinking of them as actual creatures with feelings on rank with his own species, and they weren't exactly the kindest to them. I think they taught them, just that early encounter with the Andalites, taught the Yeerks that we're going to have to fight for all we own, for all we get, for all we have, and there's going to be really no one else to depend on.
Mm-hmm.
And they would teach the Yeerks early on about the galactic affairs, that you need to have the power in order to have any way of life. And so that could be why they started all violent, because they wanted a quick show of that they are dangerous, that they are a threat, and they should be revered.
I guess in this case, the Yeerks' curiosity killed the Andalites.
The whole phrase is curiosity killed the cat,
but satisfaction brought it back.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I learned the whole phrase, and then I get annoyed when people just say curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you're still alive, right, cat?
Shut up. The things I put up with, folks.
What?
The things I put up with, folks.
You don't have to put up with the shit 24/7. Okay. So what do you think about think about the Yeerk Andalite War being prevented?
Hmm. I think that perhaps if Seerow had made sure to study the Yeerks closer so that he knew about how they worked, then I want to think it still could have been prevented. Not entirely sure how, but I'm still thinking it could have been prevented.
You think the Andalite's ego had any, or was the cause of any of it? Like if as I said, if the Andalites had been a little more humble, they could have just prevented it, been more diplomatic, because from the series I remember, it doesn't seem like they're too diplomatic in that regard.
No, they just kind of seem to do things for their own gain.
Do you think that hampered their relations with the Yeerks?
I kind of want to say that would hamper their relationship with everybody.
We all have that, we've all known a pompous person that's like, I am the greatest thing ever.
No, you're not, mate.
No, you're not. It's like, it's, not limited to family, but, friends you meet that you can easily just go, hey, I can ignore you now. There's no reason for me to put up with this bullshit. Yep. I am the greatest thing ever. Everything I do is right, and everything you do is wrong. And I mean, but I'm doing the same thing. No, mine is better. Yours is crap. There is a diplomacy with the Andalites, or lack thereof.
Yeah, they really need to get their stalkers out of the clouds more.
Like you help start a war. You see species lost their freedom. Jackasses. It's like, just be a little more diplomatic. Just go things slowly. Treat them with respect. I mean, you can still be cautious, but don't make it outwardly so. Just be everything sort of in the background, so if they look, they can see it, but mainly it's just nice, happy faces.
Yep.
And speaking of, Prince Seerow, what Seerow's kindness is named after, do you think the Andalites were a little harsh on Seerow?
Well, just from the perspective of a human, I want to say yes, but on the other hand, then sending him and his family to a planet that apparently no one cared about, that holds other species which could be endangered by the Yeerks. Given that Seerow probably has the most knowledge of the Yeerks, at least he would be the best person to try and warn this new species that crap, something's happening, and we're just gonna try and keep you safe
until Prince Alran decides, hey, let's do a quantum virus.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry. I'm starting with the Andalite hand, just going towards it. I'm sorry. Let's get back on track.
It's okay.
So you think basically that sending Seerow to the Hork-Bajir homeworld was both getting Seerow out of the way of the the war and both using his talents too?
Yeah,
I just
I mean, basically the Andalites sort of see him as inferior now. So basically, I don't think they could care less what he does, as long as like he's not gonna impede on anything that they're gonna have to now be doing to clean up after his mess.
well, in all honesty, what I don't like about saying about his mess, or just naming it Seerow's kindness, is because it was all the Andalites and their ideology and their lack of diplomacy that did it. Seerow was just basically the scapegoat they used so they could say, hey, we're still great and mighty, it's just this one Andalite that's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because they're
He
very...
tried to be kind. Look what happened. He fucked everything up.
Yeah, it's basically, no, it couldn't possibly be that we weren't treating the Yeerks as actual people with feelings. It couldn't possibly because we were making it a point that we were trapping them there. It wasn't us, showing them that you have to have power to get anywhere. No, it was all Seerow and all him being kind and shit. Us being jackasses is totally not the problem.
We tried to warn him.
Sorry. I couldn't hold back.
No, that's okay. I was just going, we tried to warn him.
We tried. It's like, that's what I really don't like about the Andalites' honor. I am big on, honor, but honor to the point of idiocy is not really good. Because they want to keep up this facade of we are the mightiest species, we never do anything wrong, we are the greatest, and they don't, stop to consider, hey, how could we have prevented this situation? What did we do wrong? What could we do right in the future? They just say, oh, hey, look, there's a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, they did do good with Seerow on using his abilities. I agree with that, but how they dishonored his name was a fucking big move.
I kind of do think maybe somehow they could have made a better example of him without like properly humiliating him.
Yeah.
Because it is a good lesson. Like, don't trust everyone, but like just don't like use it to completely humiliate that person, especially while they're still so useful.
Yeah, I know. Instead of Seerow's kindness, they could do it the Andalites' kindness. Just saying that, yeah, we fucked up, or maybe using something in Andalite culture that only Andalites would be familiar with. So you can name it that kindness. So when people hear it at first, especially if they're meeting your species for the first time, they won't immediately think of that. Because Axe wanted to hide Seerow's kindness from, the Animorphs. I mean, that's how bad the shame is, because they do blame themselves, but maybe it's like a small comfort to them that, hey, we can still just name it after this one guy and blame him. But the guilt definitely leaked out to the rest of the species. It's just they even though they just harassed the Seerows, it was, and so they could just think of, oh, this one Andalite did bad, and they can say that to themselves, when they go to sleep at night, they'll just think my species did this. What if these other species find out what we did? It's our shame.
Yeah, they're rather big on pride, I think.
Fuck Andalite pride. Continue.
I want that on a t-shirt. Fuck Andalite pride.
Oh god, if I wasn't afraid of getting copyrighted, I would put that on a shirt in my cafe press shop and sell that. I don't know. Maybe, hey, if anyone of you know if I could get copyrighted for that, tell me, or if not, I will sell that, make a crappy little design and sell that on a shirt.
So we're gonna have so many t-shirts to make if we get copyright approval.
And just like, yeah, you're going to have to remind me to look that up because I'll probably forget afterwards. But yeah, it's like, fuck Andalite pride. Fuck Andalites. Sorry, I just, yeah. See,
I
did remind you about the Andalites ego all through this podcast. It was so funny because earlier she's like, "Hey, just remind me about the ego and blah blah blah." I'm like, I'm just thinking that's not going to be a problem.
Yep.
I think the first host of With Extra Happy, Keytor 84. I think one of the few episodes we did was Andalites, and I was like, I'm going to have it even-sided, the pros and the cons. It quickly turned into cons.
Whoops.
I was like, I'm going to do even a nope. And I made original species for Animorphs, which now I'm making a completely original species for my web series Chronicles of Gaia, found on the Chronicles of Gaia.blogspot.com, and just for when they appear in the Animorphs universe, they really hate Andalites. Like, that's how deep my loathing of Andalites goes. I make an original species that loathes Andalites.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I wish it did!
Apparently I'm not surprised by very much except for when a computer dies, but aside from that...
Okay, okay, let's actually continue on. T-shirts and buns aside. What? Say it.
Give me the buns!
I like how we're so closely connected. I don't really have to say anything. You're like, I know.
I know exactly what you want me to say.
Okay, what about the ramifications of Seerow's kindness as it concerns the Animorphs? So this is more of what I read, but yeah, what about when Axe gets to the group and, hides things because of Seerow's kindness? Do you have any opinions on that, Kat?
Well, I can agree that, like, not the entirety of humanity is, like, a very intelligent species, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
We do.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
We lost our one viewer. It must have been a Trump. No, it's back. Okay, continue.
Hey, I want him back.
He's back.
I was in the middle of saying something.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Intelligent species.
Yeah, intelligent species. Yes.
Continue, Cat. We gotta do it.
Hang on. What I can say as a whole, humans are not the most intelligent species. If you're like in the middle of fighting this war, and one of your allies is hiding vital information that you need to know about the enemy, you're not gonna have a good time. So, basically, yeah. So.
It's just like in number 8 when like the Amors did bring up, we can understand about you not giving us technological information. That's sort of given if you need to hide that. But when it's tactical in nature to help you win better, I mean, Axe didn't tell them that when the Kandrona was destroyed, that when host started to die, I mean, Yeerk started to die, the Yeerks would kill the host to keep the secret, and so Jake, hoping all the time, was just false hope, and Axe didn't even say shit about that. It's like that little bits of information where it's like, and Axe wouldn't even tell them how he fucking ate with hooves.
Yeah. Well, that one kind of seems a bit more of a personal thing, but we'll get to that later.
It's just like you eat eggs. How do you eat with hooves? It's like you're hiding everything else from us. Just tell us how you fucking eat. It's like
You don't have a mouth.
Scene, but you know it's. Go on. Silene, what do you think? She's not saying anything. Do you have any more to say on?
Nope.
It's also about Axe hiding information. We both agree that it's tactical. That if you're hiding information for a fight, that's not really good. You will, as you said, you will not have a good time. It's how best to beat the Yeerks because Axe and the Animorphs both have the same goals: to destroy the Yeerks and stop them from invading Earth. The Animorphs because it's their home planet, and Axe because not giving the Yeerks another species to use. And yet you won't give out simple information, always be hiding things. That's not what you look for in an ally. I mean, even if an ally has great information, but they're not sharing with you. It's like, I can understand about how, Andalites usually battle with other Andalites, but they should at least get basic training of how to deal with Seerow's kindness if you're trapped on a planet alone and need the species to help you. Because every species and group you run into aren't going to be as kind as the Animorphs. The Animorphs rescued Axe's ass when he tried to kill Visher 3 in number 8. And, you're not... So the Animorphs were nice and kind about that, but if you're going onto another planet and the group that rescues you realizes that you're hiding information, you're not being honest, and decides, why should we fucking trust you? The best case scenario, they'll just abandon you. The worst case scenario, they might kill you.
Mhm.
If you're not going to answer something like, how can you eat? You're not going to have a good time.
I'm glad that amuses you.
What?
I'm glad that amuses you.
I think it's the not going to have a good time is from South Park.
That's what I was thinking, but okay then.
Okay, not gonna. Sorry, that's why it amuses me.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have the Kindle right here. Hang on. I just want to get to one quote from the... Oh, okay, here it is. So this is after Axe has basically come forward about Seerow's kindness and everything, and the Animorphs are like, yeah, so you're not Seerow. You didn't start the whole Yeerk and Light War, and they forgave him when Axe was basically like, they're going to hate me forever and ever. They're not going to be my friends anymore. And the Animorphs' kindness really surprised him. So now they're at the point where Axe is going to be honest with them, fully honest, fully a participant in the Animorphs. And so Marco goes, all right, Marco said, rubbing his hands together. Now that's over with. And now that we are finally all leveling and telling the truth, I think we have one very big question for Axe. One huge question that will put our new friendship to the test. One gigantic question. What? I asked nervously. How do you eat without a mouth? That's been like that was a running gag throughout number 8, which is why I kept on bringing that up.
Yep, I vaguely remember that now.
It was a cute little gag throughout the book. Like, how do you eat? I have hooves, don't I?
And well, we run.
That's very useful. Much information, X. Much information. No more buns for you. No! That's how they could torture information out of Axe. Pretend to destroy the Earth's supply of cinnamon buns.
Yeah. Give me a bun!
I'll tell you everything!
Just give me the buns!
Okay, the final question for today.
It's a very important question.
How do you eat cat?
What do you see?
Okay, the last actual question is, what do you think of Axe being blamed for breaking Seerow's kindness and at Alfangor? What happens was, in number 8, Axe gets into contact with the Andalite homeworld. He basically says, hey, this is what's happened so far. And so the one big fucking jackass with a tail blade prompts Axe to take the blame, saying, yeah, I gave the Animorphs, the power to morph, and I broke Seerow's kindness, our most sacred law, just so Alfangor's honor wouldn't be diminished, even though Alfangor was doing the last thing he could do to save Earth, to keep Earth safe, and to stop the Yeerks from gaining other species. And Alfangor didn't exactly land saying, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Alfangor was like, okay, just tell your species what's going on. And the Animorphs are like, have you been to Earth? And Alfangor's like,
Nobody's going to believe us.
What? No one's going to believe.
Nobody's going to believe us.
And so Alfangor's like, fine, fucking fine. I'll give you the goddamn power to morph. Happy now? Marco, no. Shut up, Marco.
Well, it's true.
So yeah, and so even though Alfangor gave the power to morph out of need to protect the species, the council is or whatever the group of Andalite jackasses is called.
The Council of 13, I think.
No, that's the Yeerks. That's the Yeerks.
Oh. Whoops, yeah. Never mind.
The Andalites are going to come after you now, Cat.
Wasn't me.
And good. Okay, where was I? And so they were the Andalites don't want any tarnish at all to be on Alfangor, to make Alfangor seem like a saint. So they're like, hey, you're someone less important, so if you take the blame, it won't be as big of a thing. And hey, maybe this will all work out, bro. And so, I mean, this really fucking hits Axe hard because, he's a cadet, he's an artist, or whatever you pronounce that as. And so, artist. And so he's trying to follow in his brother's footsteps, and so he's had to go through the shock of both his brother, dying, which he didn't think could ever happen, to Alfangor breaking Seerow's kindness, to finally being blamed and being shunned by, his entire species. So it's just like, it was not a good day for Axe. I was like, sort of tearing up during that part. Sort of tearing up and then wanting to slap everyone, including Axe. You're being jackasses. So, yeah, what was the question? Sorry. So what do you think of Axe being blamed for Seerow's kindness and, not Alfangor?
I can understand that it would be that the blame would be placed on like the next of kin, but I still think that it's unfair for an innocent to have been forced to take that effect.
Well, I don't think with the Axe being blamed about Alfangor's transgression wasn't about him being the next of kin, but him being the only surviving Andalite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a whole honor thing that if one of your family dies, you must, go after them. You must kill the person who killed your brother.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
That's a whole nother story that I just want to rage at. So let's focus on.
We'll make that another episode.
What?
We'll make that another episode. But I got nothing.
Yeah, so let me try to. What do you think that, for one, do you think anyone should be blamed for it? I mean, can't they just say, hey, this was a case of how war went, and so this was the best tactical decision to make to hopefully keep, the Yeerks from getting another species?
I'm not sure what the question was in that. I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you think? Do you think that there shouldn't, that Alfangor giving the Animorphs the morphing ability and breaking Seerow's kindness should have been considered a tactical decision of war rather than something worthy of blame?
Yes, I do. Because then at least Earth would have like some protection, which is obviously what happened.
I mean, the Animorphs, the Andalites are fighting for the same thing, to keep the Yeerks from invading another planet. And so, they're sort of still on the same side, and they should be honored that Alfangor was willing to do anything to stop the Yeerks, even breaking a sacred law.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's something admirable. When you're nearly dying, to still think of winning, even if you can't make the final blow, making sure that someone else can.
Giving like another planet a chance.
Yeah, and so yeah, we just he's giving it a chance, trying to help stop the Yeerks. You should be, oh, that's good. Instead of going, hey, you're a cadet, so you're taking the blame. And I don't know if it's really was talked about a post-war about how, damn it, I can't remember if Axe is still being blamed for Seerow's kindness, and if he is, he'd probably be now probably praised for helping to win the war.
I don't remember seeing anything about that from what I read.
Oh, God damn it. That should be something mentioned, like if they're like, hey, the Axe is relieved of blame, and then if Alfangor was getting the praise for, breaking Alfangor's kindness, breaking Seerow's kindness, and helping to win the war, that would up him a few points. I think we've talked about that question. So.
Yep.
Okay, now is a little special because this is the mid-season premiere. I mean, mid-season finale. Like we're getting all professional now. We're breaking it up into seasons and mid-seasons.
Ooh.
Oh, and when we return, we'll be talking about Rachel's Battle Wars and a little Jekyll and Hyde episode inspired by the one where there's a good Rachel and a bad Rachel.
The Starfish book.
The Starfish book that like looks so innocent, but it's like, have you read it? That's like,
have you really read it?
It's like, yeah, it's not nice, and it's not. It wasn't a childhood book. I mean, what the? Okay, I'm bringing out Silene. Yeah.
Hello,
Silene. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Hello, Silene.
Hey, look it. Your fans are there. Say hi again.
Hello, Silene.
Silene.
Hello, Silene. Well, you kind of know your name, don't you, Silene?
Okay.
You're adorable. Look at you. Whoop! There she goes.
Yeah, she can't fly. Okay, no, she just flew there. So.
Well, good job, Silene. You did your best.
Having a little millet on top when I do this. There's the millet. There's the millet. There you go. I'll move it even closer. I think she flew up there like, this is a nice comfy place and there's usually millet. Where's the millet, Mom? What the hell are you trying to pull here? You know, that's Silene. I've had her for around 7 years.
Oh, wow. She's a big member of the family then.
Yeah, she was there when I started blogging. Like, I used to have a parakeet kiwi. He died a year or two ago. 2 years ago, I think. And so we got Loki, who is now on the patio. And I have to manually de-shit her, so I know she won't be shitting. But Loki will probably just shit everywhere, so I'm comfortable with allowing her in the room out. Just so I don't walk into any hidden shit. But yeah. She's like, no. But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on her because after she quits nomming, she'll try to explore and she'll usually stumble off the cage.
Just ah!
And Mommy will be there. Yeah, so yeah, she's cute and she's adorable. And when I've had her and Kiwi, and when I was recording in my very early years of blogging, when I actually had Windows Movie Maker and something to edit, when I would be editing it and there'd be parakeet voices in the background, Silene and Kiwi would both be replying to themselves like their recordings were totally different birds. I'm glad that she's actually eating for so long. She's not always like this. So, yeah, we're ending on a nice, happy note. You have cats, right, Cat?
Uh-huh, but none of them are in the room. I think they're all asleep.
Oh. You don't want to disturb a sleeping cat.
Nope.
It's like, don't disturb a sleeping dog. It's like, have you seen a cat?
They will not leave you alone if you wake them up. They think you'll feed them.
You're waking me up to feed me, right? Right?
No. Stop tripping me up. I'm trying to go downstairs. But
food! Yeah, parakeets won't really do that. Just put the food in the cage. They can really come to. Okay, she's moving around. Okay, you just reposition yourself. It's like, I'm a little worried. I'm a little mommy birdie. But, what are your cats' names?
One is Link and one is Zelda. That was my friend's idea.
Oh, shit. Thanks, nerdy. How dare you be a nerd? I cannot speak to a nerd. Say as I run a couple podcasts and a blog.
Hypocrite.
So yeah, I just wanted to give you a nice little show of Silene. She keeps entering around, looking back, like, yeah. Okay, so again, I do not know when the next. She keeps looking at me. She don't know when the mid-season. Oh god, she's moving now. Oh god. Okay. Don't fall down in 5 seconds.
I won't.
No, I'm talking about Silene.
Oh, okay.
So again, I don't know when the next season of With It, the mid-season premiere will be, just because I base it on when J&J Mondays is on hiatus, and that's not always pre-planned, and so I'll know maybe a few weeks ahead of time when J&J Mondays is going on hiatus.
Mhm.
And then I tell Kat and we discuss.
Mhm.
And so the next part of season 3, which I swear did break season 3 into 2 parts because I love the title card. Okay, good. Don't fall off. Oh god, you're going to fall off.
Catch me, Mom. Trust fall.
Trust me. And so there will be 2 episodes when this season comes back. One is Rachel's battle morph choices, or going over, exploring the psyche of Rachel by going into her battle morphs.
Mhm.
Like, it's what do these exactly spell out for the character? What's the deeper meaning behind it? So, yeah.
That ought to be fun.
And then once, yeah, that should be nice and happy and cheerful.
Yeah.
And then the other one will be a Jekyll and Hyde, as we said before, inspired by the separation. So basically, breaking apart the animorphs, every animorph, into 2 sides, the good and the bad. Like, for example, Cassie, the peacekeeper of the group. She can understand people and, better keep the peace and shit. But the downside is she can't, has a very good ability of recognizing the weak strengths and weaknesses of a person. So, what exactly could be the... Oh, God. This is why Silene wasn't allowed out through the entire episode.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's okay, but I have to pay constant attention to her. Yes, I do, you little asshole. So, yeah, she replied to that. But, and the downside of Cassie really being observant about people is that she could easily manipulate them. I mean, Dark Cassie, holy shit, that's a really dangerous idea.
That does actually sound terrifying, considering what we know of her.
I mean, even our quote-unquote good version of Cassie destroyed, not destroyed, but made it so that a guy never actually existed.
Mm.
Okay, just shake it. And so that's what you guys have to look forward to when with extra happy returns sometime in the future. And I just want to give an explanation for the title. of the episode because I'm just so goddamn proud. Kat, have you read the book When You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Doesn't sound familiar, no.
Yeah, it's a little childhood book that I read when I was really, really young. But basically, the whole thing of the book was you give a mouse a cookie, then basically the mouse keeps on asking for more and more shit. So when you give a Yeerk a cookie, the Yeerk keeps on asking for more and more shit. And I think it was a good sort of explanation of Seerow's kindness in a title because the Yeerks found out about the universe and they wanted more.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so if any of you little artists there know about When You Give a Mouse a Cookie, if you can write a little comic strip of When You Give a Yeerk a Cookie, please do. And I have where to submit it down below in the description. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it on my blog, it will be up above. And just submit the little comic strip of When You Give a Yeerk a Cookie because I think that would be so goddamn adorable. So do you have any parting words, Kat?
Well, I'm really hoping that Skynet and or the Yeerk Empire doesn't decide to try and attack me again, knock on wood. So,
Yeah.
ow, that was harder than I thought it would be. Aside from that,
don't hurt yourself, Kat.
Bit late. Aside from that, I can't wait to do the last 2 episodes of the season with you.
Yeah. And I'm really happy to have you, Kat, and I didn't mind, giving extra time for you to work on things. Just, they might have annoyed me from time to time, but still, it was just, you're a great co-host, and I want to keep you. So,
I wasn't doing it on purpose, I promise. I just couldn't get anyone working.
God. I know you aren't, Kat. So until the mid-season premiere, goodbye, folks.
Bye.